Welcome to Uncomfortable, where real conversation meets unwavering faith. Hosted by Kirk and Vince, this podcast dives into the tough topics, the ones the church often avoids, the ones that make us wrestle with our faith, the ones that challenge us to grow. We're not here to stir up division. Our heart is to encourage, to uplift, and to press into the gospel with boldness. Because growth happens in discomfort. Faith deepens when we're willing to face the hard questions. So let's lean in. Let's explore. Let's learn. Let's walk this journey together. This is Uncomfortable. Ready to shake up the conversation? Let's get started. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Kirk, joined by Vince. We also have Nathaniel and Chad again with us today.
What up?
We're going to be talking about physical health versus spiritual health. You know, it's interesting, Chad, and I think I'll start by talking with you about this. As I began to study our physical health, I've noticed a correlation, or almost a type and shadow, of the way our spiritual health kind of correlates to our physical health. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways that physical fitness and spiritual fitness almost identically aligned, which is hilarious.
Absolutely.
Before I get too deep into saying any of my thoughts, because I've shared several on the air before, tell me some areas that you've seen where the physical and the spiritual almost are like a type and shadow of each other.
So when it comes to like, in my honest like way of seeing it, your body is the physical form, just like Jesus was the physical form. God is, in my opinion, your mental form, and then the Holy Spirit is obviously your spiritual form. And so whenever you combine all three of them, that's why in the Bible it says that, hey, let's make humans, us, our creations, be just like us. Okay, so you got God the physical, God in the mental, and you have also the Holy Spirit as the Holy Spirit, like just a spiritual.
So you're trying to explain the Trinity through the physical aspect.
Absolutely, because we all have a mental body, we all have a physical body, and we all have a spiritual body. Mm-hmm. And within those realms, if one is off, all three of them are off.
Oh, that's an interesting way to put it.
So, like for instance, if you're saying like, "Hey, my lower back is hurt," all right, cool. I always say, "What's going on? Since when did this hurt, and did something happen within this realm of like your lower back is hurting?" And so, like for instance, one of our boys, his name is Titus. Titus actually comes up to me all the time. He said, "My upper back's hurting. My upper back's hurting." And I just looked at him one day and I said, "Who hurt you?" And he said, "What you mean?" And I was like, "Someone stabbed you in the back. If it's here in this general area, that means someone stabbed you in the back. Who did it?" And he looked at me, was like,
"Just read my mail."
Yeah, like for real, like something just ended up happening like a few days ago to where I did feel like I got backstabbed. Yeah. And so I told him, I was like, you need to confront or reconcile with that person before I can even touch that back right now.
So can we pause on that for just a second? Because I want people to understand that. So that's not just some sort of weird voodoo new age stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So there's a couple aspects to that. Number one, Holy Spirit does speak to us, and he does give us insight and wisdom, and that could very well have been a word of wisdom, right? Mm-hmm. But also, excuse me, it's been proven that stress and stressors and things like that in our life can be carried in our body, and in general in specific areas. Mm-hmm. So not in a weird, spooky way, but legitimately, like in the physical sense, like stress prolonged over a certain period of time. When you have stress, you release a stress hormone, which releases cortisol. Cortisol builds up in various places. Its first places that it builds up is typically certain spots in the back, certain spots in the legs. Those are the first places. Now, that won't build up other places, but those are the first ones.
Right.
And then if things get prolonged or certain types of traumatic things happen, it will start affecting certain internal organs. Again, it may start out light if it's a small stressor, but if you're under a prolonged amount, it can work its way into other things. So what you're saying in case somebody was trying to be like, oh, well, that's weird. That's just some weird voodoo stuff. It wasn't weird stuff. It's legitimate based on both spiritual practices in terms of listening to Holy Spirit, right? Which is biblical, to listen to, creator of the universe and all.
Right.
And there's a practical scientific understanding to that too. And some of that comes from the training that you've received in
massage therapy.
Therapy. Yeah, thank you. My
So
brain went. I was
Before
like,
we get too deep into this, because I want to make sure that we put this disclaimer out there.
Right.
First of all, as we speak, we want to make sure you understand that none of this is meant to shame anyone.
Absolutely not.
We are not wanting you to feel bad about yourself, but what we want is for you to be encouraged to try to take a stand for your physical health, because that will also correlate to your spiritual health.
Absolutely.
And we are not experts in all these things, and we do not claim this as any sort of health advice. Take this as a form of, although you know what our goal is every time we do this, this is meant generally as a form of entertainment and to listen to and for
And
us
to drive you to
challenge
the Word of God.
Right, and drive you to the
Absolutely.
Word of God. This is not meant to be an authoritative conversation.
And at the same time, I would also, Chad, I'm sure since you've been studying physical fitness like myself, we would advise you not to use Google or AI as your guide.
Truth.
You need to, and stop looking at the influencers.
Oh my gosh. And especially the ones on steroids.
Or even the young, thin girl that's talking about Pilates.
Yep.
I mean, this is the
That
reality.
grew up that way, though. Not the ones that have
But here's
beat
the reality.
the-
Most of these people who are influencers, they're experts in their own eyes.
Yep.
If you want to get expert advice, go to a known source that is an expert in their field, and there's plenty of free ones out there that have websites. But you have to look for them, and you have to research it. The thing is there's a lot of people giving a lot of advice that's completely wrong.
Yep.
And I've seen it, especially perfect example is the Arnold press. It is an exercise that you can easily injure your shoulders on if you do it incorrectly. Also, if you don't do it properly, you waste energy when trying to do the movement. Because there's some people out there that are trying to say that once you get up to the 90-degree area, you can kind of butterfly your arms in and press up. Well, that's an incorrect movement. It's supposed to be that you're bringing, as you press up, you're twisting your arms up at the same time. Now, if everyone could see what I was doing, you'd know what I'm doing. But you can't see me since we're doing this all on audio.
But for most of us, even the ones that are here watching this happen, it's still like, what?
Well,
Confusing.
if I had dumbbells in my hands, it would make sense.
Right.
But the thing is that if you don't properly do the movement, first of all, you're not going to maximize the growth within your shoulders, right? And you're possibly, if you don't do it right, you could injure yourself, because the Arnold press is known to be one of the highest injury exercises out there.
Should even a deadlift.
Yep, exactly. But the thing is on the Arnold press, that one of the biggest things is people are trying to tell them to do it instead of doing the rotation as they go up, they're telling them to rotate in and out as they come down to that 90-degree angle. And it's a wasted movement at that point.
Right.
So
it seems like it's not, I mean, again, never having really seen it personally, it seems like it's not a natural motion.
It's
maybe?
not necessarily natural, but the thing is if you do it right, it's the most effective to build your shoulders for the front, the back, and the rear and the side delts of any of the shoulder exercises you can do. But it is prone to injury because you're engaging so many different parts of your shoulder, and also remember it's a ball and socket joint.
Yep.
So, but here's the other thing. We're talking about spiritual, physical, right? In the same way, in our spiritual life, if we're not caring for the way that we do things, right, then we could possibly injure ourselves or place ourselves in a situation where we're just taking wrong advice that could lead us down a path of destruction.
So I want to give like a little bit of an example. Do not go to a pastor after you just saw him chugging a beer. Like, if you struggle with alcoholism, I wouldn't trust a pastor that is also struggling with it. You know what I mean? Like, that's just horrible thinking, horrible doctrine kind of thing to practice.
Like at this phase in my life, I wouldn't be the best person for to be a physical trainer for someone, even though I have a wealth
strength.
even though I have a natural strength and I have a wealth of information that I've learned over the years. I haven't put a lot of that into practice up until more recently. So,
Which, by the way, you're doing really well.
thank you. I'm working on that.
I mean,
Chad can testify.
I mean,
Yes.
I was actually thinking to myself, after we sat down in here and we were in the middle of the last recording, I was thinking to myself, as Vince continues to recomp, he's going to have this incredible physique once he's done.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, just look at him.
No.
He's got the build and the width.
Look at Nani. Like,
They both do. The thing is, you guys got the build to where once you recomp, you guys are going to be incredible. It's just
Eddie Hall. Eddie Hall is what I think of when I see them.
Yeah, I mean, because they've got they've got the broad shoulders.
Yep.
The shoulders and the way their pecs come down and
Yep.
all connect together. It's like once they get that going, man, it's going to be like, dude, these guys could be just
Another Eddie Hall.
beasts.
Yes. Like
And-
strongman competitions.
Exactly. So, but here's the thing, guys. You don't have to be working out to try to become some sort of beast or whatever else. But the reality is,
Not to that degree, yeah.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
but the thing is we're having a little fun with it, right?
Right.
But the thing is we want you to be encouraged to challenge yourself, not only to read your Bible, but also to represent Christ on the daily.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you have to be an Arnold Schwarzenegger or an Eddie Hall or fill in the blank of whoever else, right?
Imagine someone like Eddie Hall just going up there and preaching the Bible like crazily. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that to me will be like his best way of pinnacle points of not just hitting his physical body, but then spiritual body.
Well, I've seen stuff like that. I forget the guy's name, but there was this one football player. It was back in the day. I mean, in the 90s.
Oh gosh.
And
Way back when.
he used to go in, but he was well known.
Mm-hmm.
But he would pray sometimes in the middle of his things. I think he played for the Giants. And he turned around and he would go out and preach to young people.
Oh, that is so beautiful.
Often in the off season, he would
That
go
is
and do
so
little
beautiful.
groups, and if he couldn't make it, his trainer would make it.
Okay.
Wow.
I will.
But that goes back to what you're saying. If when you looked at them on the stage, they weren't fat.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the 90s, most football players, they were pretty ripped.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might have had a little bit around the waist, but it wasn't like they are today.
Even the
Right,
ones
right.
that had it around the waist were like,
Still bulk.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying
still like-
their shoulders, the muscle was just incredible. But the thing is they looked like the pinnacle of, they could really take care of business if they
Right.
needed to, right?
well, I mean, I think even a prime indicator of that specific thing is you think about and whether you love them or hate them, you have to respect this specific group. The 1990s Dallas Cowboys O-line. Here's the thing about them, right? Their O-line, I think the lightest person was like maybe 3.25, 350. And every last one of them ran like a 4.4, 4.5, 4.6 40. And which for those of you out there, like, what is that? It means how many seconds it took you to run 40 yards. To have a 350-pound man, 370-pound man run at you and make it 40 yards in like 4.5 seconds, that's kind of scary.
I don't think I will ever see 300 pounds.
Moving fast.
Well, I just don't see myself ever being that heavy. Because even when I was fat, I didn't weigh. I was still under
Same.
200.
But I mean, you're also talking about these guys. I think they were 6'3",
Yeah.
6'4". Most of them were.
I have a
six
small build,
something.
though. I'm a pretty small.
I mean,
small
at
person.
my best, when I played high school football, I was probably running about a 4.8.
And I'm not a mini-me, Chad.
I was maybe.
I
running
can hear
a
that joke
4.8,
starting to come.
and I think I was about 235. So, I was working on my speed. I had a coach helping me work on my speed, so I had gotten down from 5 to like a 4.8. But even at that 235, coming at that speed, and you think about these guys that run professionally in NFL, some of them running 4.2s, 4.3s, 4.4s. And it doesn't matter what your weight is. When you've got that much speed behind whatever
It's
weight
scary,
it is,
dude.
and it's going to collide with you. And the thing
it's
that
no wonder some of these guys end up with so many problems because, like you're saying,
Right.
they're 300 plus pounds, and when they hit, it's like 2 freight trains hitting.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you have a situation where you have a guard pulling, meaning
Oh
that
my-
the guard's going from his position where he's just coming across the line to somebody to means he's going to run down the line and come and block somebody. He gets an opportunity there to run full speed.
Oh, now if we really want to talk about people that are the pinnacle of fitness in the sports industry, rugby.
Those guys are
Those
scary.
guys, they look like they're massive bodybuilders. They don't even wear helmets. And
They go full on collisions, full speed. No.
Have you seen some of
just
the
crazy.
thighs of some of those guys?
Oh yeah.
Like, I've seen some, it looks like, okay, this is the weird part. Like, not that their upper body isn't worked out, but in comparison, it looks like their arms and upper body is like a normal person, and then their thighs are
which
like,
team are you watching? Most of them that I see look like the Schwarzenegger up top,
No,
and they
there's-
still have those thick thighs in the
there's
bottom.
a couple of them, I've seen a couple of them like that because, like, their thighs look like they belong on, like, Clydesdale horses.
Oh, okay.
And their
Pretty
bodies
much.
are like, okay, that's just a regular built body. It's not like Arnold Schwarzenegger top. It's like your top and like Clydesdale legs.
Mhm.
So it's just like that's freaky. You're a freak of nature, not in a bad way, but it's
Wow.
just crazy.
Now, what's called like
They
there's
never miss leg day.
there's
Oh,
there-
they're not a part of the chicken.
Yeah, yeah.
The chicken club.
The,
Chicken leg club.
there's a guy named Saquon Barkley. I personally love him. He's one of my personal favorite Giants that I've watched and everything. And homeboy came out of, I want to say like Notre Dame or something like that. I forget which. It was like a one with the tiger. I don't know, but
It's not Notre Dame.
no, I don't know. Anyways, I don't know college very well, but he came out with, I want to say, around a 600 to 700 pound like squat. Homeboy was named Quad Barkley, not Saquon, was just Quad Barkley, and I was like, that's a relatively good name for him because you see him. He's on a Madden cover of being able to do a hurdle backwards.
Whoa.
Like he legit spun again mid-spin, jumping over a Jaguar player and just looking like it was like another Tuesday. I was like,
He does ballet.
Yes, this
You
boy
can't do a move
just-
like that without being able to have
Absolutely.
some sort of fitness in that area. And ballet
So-
is not girlish. It's
Well, there's a lot of people
There's
over
a lot
the
of
years that were in football. There
pro
were
football players
that
that do it,
did
yeah.
ballet because they
Helps with
knew it would
balance.
help them.
But I will say this too: when it comes to fitness and the spiritualness of both realms, it is okay. I'm just gonna say this because this happened to me personally.
Oh yeah.
I went to a church. Over in McKinsey.
don't name it.
I'm not. That when I was there, the head pastor specifically, he did like a whole sermon thing, and people were trying to get anointed and everything like that too with the oil and everything. This man decided to. I call this the shirtless church. The main reason was because this pastor, he is ripped, jacked, and like all believe. Like you would think like a little mini or Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of thing. Like but he's still built, right? He gets oiled up and just takes his shirt off because of the oil. I was like,
That's weird.
it is weird. And I was like, okay, first of all, this is not cool. He has in my opinion, I'm thinking he's using the platform of God to show off his body. That is not okay, in my opinion.
I would agree with you on that. I don't think that's appropriate. That's no more appropriate than someone that's in ministry, doing anything that could be interpreted.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, we're not supposed to be a stumbling block to anybody. We need to be all things for all people, but at the same time, we need to be very careful when we represent the Lord in certain ways. And I'm not saying that people are going to go to hell if they go participate in a bodybuilding show.
Right.
But there's a time and place for everything.
But even that's different though. Like, because if he's a professional bodybuilder and he's going to shows, I mean, everybody that's seen that knows what they make them wear. It's not like he's participating in. It's like saying that the pastor's wife participates in a beauty pageant, right? She's in Miss USA or Miss America, whatever. Okay, that's its own thing. It's like its own field. If he participates in a bodybuilding thing, that's its own field. That's like a job almost. Okay, fine, no worries.
I do think there needs to be certain standards we need to maintain as believers.
Not when you're behind the pulpit, though.
Yeah. That's the issue.
Well, let's take the flip side of that, though. Okay, and I acknowledge there are people with health problems.
Right.
So, that, like we've talked about the caveats before, we acknowledge that there's people that deal with things differently. But you have the minister that's on the platform, and I'm not trying to be heartless on this, but they don't care about their appearance. They don't really put thought into it. And they're 450 pounds, 500 pounds.
Hey, we're not shaming anyone.
We're not shaming anyone.
Hey, it's all good.
No, my point is, though, is but they're preaching about faith. And they're preaching in a way that's saying you need to have faith to do this or that.
Spiritual fitness.
Or spiritual fitness. Or they're preaching on fasting. And I'm just saying, okay, so you're telling me, and I'm like I said, I'm not trying to be judgmental. I'm trying to be very careful when I say this. You're preaching to your flock about fasting. You look like you have never fasted in your life, ever. Right? But you're telling your flock that they need to do a 90-day fast.
90 days.
So if you're preaching that they're supposed to be fasting, why are you not fasting? Because here's the reality. There is no human on earth that goes 90 days without food and doesn't lose weight. That's just reality. I mean, even if it's not, maybe you won't be as small as like me. I mean, of course, like I said, I'm a smaller boned person. I'm only 5'7".
I think I dropped 20 or 25 pounds when I did a 40-day one time.
But you see what I'm saying? There is no physical way that anyone will not lose something.
Right.
I mean, I gained most of it back after I started eating again, but you know what I mean?
But the purpose of the fast is not
wasn't for losing weight.
Fitness. That's the thing. But the thing is if you're preaching about it,
then why aren't you doing it?
Why are you not doing it? Because it's apparent. I mean, even though you're a larger man, Vince, when you fast and drop 20, your wife's like, baby, what's going on? You know, what's up?
Her first thing would be like, wait, are you okay?
Is everything okay? What's going on? I don't, something's going on here, baby, you know. And so the people that are close to us, even your son, I'm sure, he was like, Dad, what's going on? You okay? Yeah, I'm fasting. Everything's good. So, you know, don't tell anyone because we're not supposed to tell people, right?
Right.
So,
I think if I may interject, like
please.
on my story on this, and that aspect is, at my largest, I was 440 pounds.
Yep.
And so, and when I did finally, like, start taking things more serious in that aspect, I got down. I lost about 100 pounds. Of course, then, like I've said many times on here, you know, we went through a lot of issues where I had a lot of people dying, and truth be told, I just kind of gave up, just because I was down and I was in a lot of pain emotionally, and so, and like a lot of people out there eat their feelings. You eat the sadness, you eat the anger with food. Some people eat the joy. They get happy. Hey, what are we gonna do? We're gonna go out to eat. We're gonna do this.
Absolutely.
We're gonna make some food.
Or some people find comfort.
And it's a
like
source of comfort.
It's like you eat it, but some people it's not because they feel sad. Some people it's not because they're happy. It's because it makes them feel comfy. Kind of like a home-like feel,
foods.
right? It's like a comfort thing.
It's like eating warm chocolate chip cookies fresh out the oven.
Oh my gosh!
See, that's the response right there. Everybody's like,
I have cookies in my car right now.
For those who don't like chocolate, a sugar cookie, right, fresh out the. So but the point is like, for whatever reason that you did, not everybody's is just gorging themselves. That gets that big is gorging themselves on food. And sometimes it's not even just actual food, because for me personally, if I cut out the junk food and just eat regular food, I still drop weight, like the way my body type is, I'll drop weight, not necessarily a lot. Like it'll be a little bit here and there. I might lose maybe 2 pounds in a month or something. If
You
I
better
just
be
go to
careful.
regular
You're getting
food.
old enough, man. If you're not taking enough protein in and exercising, you might start losing muscle mass.
Oh, don't worry.
No.
We get our workouts in.
Oh yeah, and I'm eating it. Trust me, he knows I eat protein. I'm eating eggs and chicken most every day. But and they're killing me when it comes to workouts. They're like, we're gonna do this, and they walk away
Yep.
like feeling like,
All right.
ooh, that was a good workout. I'm going, I'm gonna go lay down. So
Meanwhile, me and Nadia are like, you want to go play some volleyball? You want to go play some pickleball?
I'm
Hey,
like, y'all
right
have
after.
fun with that.
Love it.
I would take a nap while y'all are doing that. So, but
Yep.
But the thing is, what I mean is, so I finally did get to the point where I decided to take it serious, and I dropped. Even after I gained weight, I got back up to 415 pounds. Right, I dropped about, was it 70 pounds, 75? I think it was 75 pounds down. So then we start working out, and I got really upset and angry because over the course of like 3 or 4 months, I put on like 10 or 15 pounds. And I'm like, I haven't changed my eating. I haven't changed anything else. And I'm like, what happened? Why am I gaining weight?
Well, it's probably like what happened to me when I went with my wife down to Mexico to visit her family. It's like I even lifted twice while I was down there.
Yeah.
And I put on like 5 or 10 pounds. And I'm like, I came back, I was like weighing 158 or something like that. And I came back at 170. And I'm like, what happened? It's like all those tacos and stuff that I was eating
Well,
while
it
I was
wasn't
there.
that I was eating different. It was just that for me, it was my body, because I was an athlete in high school and early on in life, they say there's this muscle memory. So my body started building muscle. But the contrary side of that is my clothes started fitting looser. So I was gaining weight, but my clothes were fitting different.
It was the fact that his muscles are starting to grow, and therefore, because whenever your muscles are growing so much, they need more calories.
Absolutely.
Putting you more in a little bit more of a calorie deficit. But because you're not feeding them the right calories or the right amount of that you are just naturally eating, they're eating off the fat. So that's what typically tends to happen.
Well, I think like with me, it was I wasn't lifting as much, I wasn't burning as much, but because it was so quick, I was still just as hungry as I always had been, and so I was still eating the same calorie intake without
but not working.
Without the exponent, you know.
So yeah, I mean, going through the summer though, I hadn't lost. I told him and I regularly keep him filled in on my physical progress. I'm like, because he is although I'm mentoring Chad,
I mentor him.
he is. So, and that goes back to that last episode that we did together. Like, I mentor Chad in life, but Chad is helping mentor me through this physical and workout journey and getting healthy again, right? And so in health. So it's a specific area that he's able to give that insight to.
I think Chad, we need to make sure people understand a fitness journey is not an overnight thing.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's a lifestyle choice, and it's okay if it takes you a couple years to even make your goals, and you shouldn't get disheartened.
The doctor will tell you that.
But here's the other thing:
it's not an overnight thing.
In the spiritual side of it, like we've talked about, it's the same thing, because Holy Spirit may heal you of something. A year or two later, all of a sudden, God says, "You know what? This is great. You're doing wonderful. Let's peel back that layer." Because there's something
that hurts
there's something
so bad.
else.
Oh
There's
my
something
God.
else in there that you don't see that we need to heal. So he'll cut back the layer, and that's a painful situation. And he exposes the raw, rotten, whatever it is in your life that needs to be dealt with, where you may need to forgive somebody. You may need to deal with something. Maybe you have unforgiveness in your heart.
Cussing at people now.
I mean, offense. Maybe you need to forgive an offense. Maybe you took offense at God, and you have to forgive God because you got mad because your child passed away, or maybe your loved one or your father passed away. I mean,
Been there, done that.
There are things that, because we're human, our emotions get involved. Maybe your spouse made you mad, and you didn't forgive it. You just buried it.
She didn't meet your expectations.
Oh man, come on, buddy.
I mean, so going back to what you just were talking about with, him mentoring again. I know last episode. However, I will say this, because we are always hanging out. Like, we work out Sunday, Tuesday, Thursdays. You know, like those are guaranteed days that we are all working out together. Right now, because of my schedule, we haven't been doing as much. However, the moment I get the opportunity to do,
We still have been.
Yes. Not pushing yourselves as hard though. I heard.
I don't know what you're talking
Actually,
about.
It's more because you're not there because we don't have to wait sets.
Oh yeah, true.
It's more intense because it's shorter time windows.
Understandable.
Not taking as long of a break.
Understandable. But one thing I will say this though is because like yes, I am coaching him in his what's called in his fitness journey. He still is coaching me about my spiritual journey,
There you go.
and that's one reason why I'm just like this actually works out perfectly fine. Because if he wants to challenge me, like for instance about a book or about a let's say circumstance that's going on in my household because I haven't talked to my dad in over a year and a half, and he lives with me.
Oh,
You see what I'm saying? So
I think that's something you're gonna have to address, my friend.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, eventually I will. But I mean, right now it's just I'm going through it.
I know we're getting close to the wrap up point.
Right,
Here's
but
the thing.
he
I think we
has
need to pick on this scab just for a second.
Go
Vince.
ahead,
Yeah,
go
yeah,
ahead.
Go
Well,
for it.
No, I was gonna say, but actually, that's a really great contrast between the physical and the spiritual, right?
Mhm.
So, even if you are that pastor, like Kirk had mentioned, and even like myself, right? It doesn't mean that you don't have the spiritual fitness. It just means that you have to begin to bring the other parts of your life
Along with it.
under the lordship of Jesus Christ.
Right.
And the truth is, in that area of my life for a really long time, that area of my life was not under the lordship of Jesus Christ. And so, but the other stuff was. And so when it came to Chad and even me having dealt with those wounds from my father,
Mm-hmm.
I've been through that. Like you had talked about many times on many episodes about you don't want somebody going through it at the same time as you so you don't commiserate and help deepen the hole. You want someone who's been through it and had victory. I can challenge him on a regular basis
Yeah.
and say, Chad, why haven't you spoken to your father in a year and a half? Have you forgiven your father yet,
Well,
Chad?
let's go a little bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Like you were mentioning, everyone deals with something different, right?
Oh, yeah, we all have our issue.
There's some pastors that deal with pornography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not dealing with their weight,
Mm.
but they have a spiritual issue to where they're dealing with pornography because they've allowed that thing in,
Mm-hmm.
and they need to get free from that demonic stronghold.
Or some other addiction, yeah.
Or other addiction. Could be sugar, could be drugs, could be
Caffeine.
alcohol, could be caffeine, whatever it is.
Shopping, yeah.
You've got to get a
Women.
hold of the thing. Whatever the stronghold is, you've got to get that under control and not let the enemy have a stronghold in your life.
Yeah.
Because anything that's drawing you away from the Lord is inhibiting you from growth within the kingdom and being effective within your church. Now, for all of you that are not ministers, my challenge to you is this: stop looking at the gift of God and begin to look at the spiritual fruit
Yeah.
that's produced by the people. Because gifting is not something that goes away.
Right.
You know, that's the thing. If I'm gifted in prophecy, I'm going to flow in prophecy no matter what's going on in my life because it's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
However, love, joy, peace, soundness of mind, self-control, and so forth and so on, those are fruits of the Spirit that are active because I'm actively engaged in things of the Spirit.
Right.
So we need to be looking at the fruit of the Spirit of those who are our leaders. Where is the fruit of the Spirit? Are they actually good examples with using the fruits of the Spirit? The Jewish way of thinking is not, I understand it in my mind and so I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Their thought is, when I know it so much that it affects my actions on a day-to-day. So until it becomes an experiential part of their life to where it affects every action, everything that they do, they don't consider that they know it. So we need to understand that when
That's
God
crazy.
tells us that we're supposed to know something, it's supposed to be a part written on the tablet of our heart.
Yep.
It's not like we think about it from our educational school point to where I can memorize it and spout it off the top of my head. When he says written on the tablet of your heart, it means it's so ingrained as part of who you are that everything that you do reflects it, echoes it, and exudes it in every action that you take.
Mm-hmm. I mean, like, shoot, like just like you were talking about, like protein and everything like that. I guarantee you, we'll preach about protein and protein. That's because you understand it more. That's because you have a understanding. But
Revelation.
you can give that to someone and just be like, hey, here's what I would say about protein. Here's why I would say it's important for protein. But until they lived it and understand it, why is it so important? They're not going to do it.
Nathaniel, you got any insight you want to add to our conversation this time?
Hey, you've been mighty quiet, Nathaniel.
I've just been thinking, with the whole physical versus spiritual side, there's a thing of it's one and the same, but it's also separate.
Mm-hmm.
You work on each individually to then have it merged together into one. So there's a thing that I do want to work on personally is challenging my physical side to help challenge my spiritual side.
Let me ask you this, Nathaniel. How do you think keeping up your physical, and I'm not, when I say this, I'm not saying trying to become Schwarzenegger or anything or some sort of athletic, whatever, but keeping up your physical health, your physical fitness in that way, how do you think that might honor God or possibly please him?
So going to the gym or just not doing certain stuff physically, you can go out and preach the Bible. You can go out and evangelize to people. You don't have to, you're not like, not house-ridden, but like you don't stay in your house just like putting yourself in basically a food coma.
Oh, there
you
you go.
can physically go out and spiritually help people.
Yep. That's a good
That's
point.
good.
And
I heard one minister say one time, he goes, if you're going to go into the mission field, he goes, you want to make sure you get your physical health in check first. He goes, because if you don't, you're a big target for the enemy. Because if you don't keep your physical health in check, then your body's more susceptible to sickness and disease when you're in the mission field.
And let's be honest, okay? Now, if you're bigger, you're bigger.
It's
Is
just what
what
it is.
Exactly. But if I see a pastor preaching the breath of God, you know, the one that put air in your lungs, and I see him smoking, I'm sorry, I'm not going to listen to that pastor. Okay, if I see a pastor who is obviously struggling to deal with his actual like physical heavy weight, and he's preaching about the miracles of healing, I'm not going to listen to that pastor. It is what it is, because appearance is a thing. Your first appearance of that's the pastor. If they say that's the pastor versus that's the pastor, there's a big difference. Like you know.
No, I
I
understand.
I don't think as a pastor you have to be like tip top physical.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Right.
Absolutely
Like I mean,
not.
I'm not saying that you said that.
Okay.
I just want that to go out there that you know, we're not saying that you have to be like an Arnold or like a professional athlete or something, but just being able to again confess and tell on my own self. I had gotten to a point where, and it's one of the things that, remember, we had this conversation in the beginning, Chad. I noticed that as I was getting older, I was losing some of that just natural strength that you just typically have, right? I noticed it was a little harder going up and down the stairs. It was a little harder picking up a case of water than it used to be. From all of my life, I could pick up a case of water, you know, the big 40 bottle case of water, and just not a big deal. I noticed that I was starting to lose that, and I was having to rely on my kids to be like, hey, can you do that? Can you move this water, move those multiple waters? And I was like, that is not okay. I'm too young for that.
Yep.
And so I knew I needed to at that point, I was like, I definitely need to get some things in order. And that's one of the reasons why I had asked if I could join you guys with it, is because I wanted to be able to say, and that's what I told him in the beginning, for me, it's not the same goal as y'all. For me, it's longevity.
Hey,
I want to be able to move a case of water when I'm 70. I want to be able to you know, pick my wife up and pull, bring her over the threshold if I want to when I'm in my 70s. I want to be able to head to the gym and work out in my 70s and 80s, and however long the Lord allows me to be on the planet. I want to be able to be moving around and doing what I need to do and tend to and take care of myself. Not in a prideful way, but just want to be able to do what I need to do.
Oh, I feel you.
Just as a human. And so that's one of the things that actually helped me too, is like, I can't get up. And I said that the Lord actually told me this a while back. He's like, I can't send you overseas anywhere right now, not in your condition. And I was like, well, that's kind of rude, Lord. And he said, son, listen, he said,
honesty
you
is
want
best
me
policy.
to, he's like, think about this. I put you on, and God talks to me very bluntly for everybody out there. I mean, he might not talk to you that way, but he has to talk to me that way because otherwise I might not get it. He said, if I put you on a plane for 17 hours sitting upright in a seat, it can have, even on a perfectly healthy person, it can have a negative effect against your health, right? Because they say you should be moving around quite a bit. And at this point, I was heavier. And he's like, if you do that, it could potentially kill you. Just the plane ride, and when you get off, you might not be in any condition to do anything. And I was like, oh. And I was like, so by not sending me, you're saving my life. Wow. That sucks. I mean, thank you, but that sucks. So as I've lost weight, I mean, it's really neat. One of the last times we got on a plane, I was able to just buckle the belt, and I didn't need like the extender. I was like so excited. I was like, click. Oh yeah. I was like, here we go.
That's one of those areas like what I've told other people. It's like, don't look at the scale.
Yeah.
The scale is not your friend, because like with you, you're recomping your body.
Yeah.
So you probably didn't see it on the scale so much, but you see it in your clothes and like when you buckle up, right?
Right.
And that's one of the things, even with myself, if I look at the scale, I'm like, what happened? But when I put on my shorts and I'm like, I need a belt now. Okay, so I'm losing something, even though my scale doesn't tell me the difference. I need a belt now when I didn't need it before.
I've seen it in Nathaniel too. I've watched over the last, so we started in January, and I've watched him. So the first few months I was like, okay, I've noticed he's picking up some strength, but then I've noticed in the last couple of months, I'm like, whoa, that's scary. Like he does these certain movements or whatever. I remember when I was in high school and how I looked back then, and I'm like, okay, he's there. And when he does certain movements, I'm like, whoa. And the other day, even my wife commented, she said, okay, he is like looking really fit. And I was like, yeah. I was like, not only is he working out, but he's playing pickleball, he's playing volleyball, any chance the kid can get outside and play a game, he's doing that now.
That is something that you don't see in this generation, like at least in his generation, is people
not as much.
Yeah, going outside, being boys.
My son's
and
like
girls.
that too. He's my middle child, but he is so athletic. He loves to play pickleball. He loves anything that he has that he can do, he will go do that.
Yep.
That's where you're getting, yeah.
And I will say this as well when it comes to what's called like any kind of physical health and everything like that. You're right. It does not happen overnight. When it comes to me personally, I stayed at the exact same weight this entire year until just last month. And what I mean by that is I'm at 267. I was at 267 this entire year, not losing weight, but not gaining weight either. And I was okay with it because
we were watching your body change.
Yeah, I was making sure that my body, my physical body was actually developing. My arms were developing better. My stomach is getting flatter, all this other stuff. And so, but then just recently, I'm talking about like, when I say I'm talking about like last Tuesday, I want to say, I just went on my workouts or my scale at the gym, and it said 257. I was like, I dropped 10 pounds? And my coworkers looked at me and was like, everything okay? And I was like, I dropped 10 pounds. And they're like, that's good, isn't it? And I was like, you're right, that's good. But at the same time, I'm questioning, where did I lose it? Did I lose it in muscle mass? Did I lose it in fat? What's going on? They're looking at me like, I mean, dude, you're looking skinnier. Like, I was like, all right, I appreciate that. My personal goal is not to lose or gain. My personal goal is I want to squat 600. I want to go back to 600 squat. But they looked at me as like, what's the progress looking like that? And I was like, right now I'm at 400. Last time I checked was at 400.
See, I don't know that I'm ever going to try to squat 600 at the age that I'm at now. I'm getting closer to the 50 mark. But leg press, I'm already way past that.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't think I'll push it with the squat rack just because of the possible injury to the lower back.
And that's what I tell him. Like, there's certain things I won't do as much because if I do get hurt, that could.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the squat rack, and I won't say where I go to the gym because I don't know that I'm supposed to know some of the things that I've found out, but they're supposed to be getting some free weights soon, and I'm all excited about that. So anyway, even though they're going to get squat racks, from what I hear, rumor-wise, and I'm all excited about that, but I'm also very cautious because I'm like, okay, I'm not going to try to do what the younger bucks do. Because, like,
I made that mistake already and paid.
Here's
have
the
been
reality.
paying for it since.
My goal is more like Vince's. Mine's the long game.
Yep.
I'm trying to make sure that I don't have to take medications.
Yep.
I'm trying to make sure I don't end up with high blood pressure, that I have a good heart, good lungs, good circulatory system, and that when I get to be 70, 80 years old and I've got grandkids, I can wrestle those little rascals in the floor and get up all by myself. I do not want help. I want to be able to make sure that I can take care of my family.
Absolutely.
And take care of myself.
Yeah. Well, like I'm on year 2. Like, well, as of January of next year, so in 2026, this will be that'll be the start of my 3rd year on this journey. And the first one was to drop some weight, and I've been successful at that. I've dropped quite a bit of weight. Now I haven't moved much lately, like a pound or 2 here or there, but now with getting that in order and regaining some of that strength and some of that mobility, you know, I'm like, I've been looking into, okay, how do I like get my body to all of a sudden go, okay, we need to get you back into weight loss mode. And because I know there's a lot more weight I do need to physically lose.
Well, I don't think you need to focus on weight loss, Vince. Just keep.
Well, no, it's just I'm trying to get it
doing.
to be active, like to actually go, okay, let's. And I'm not talking like crazy stuff. I'm talking about, because there's a way that when your body gets used to certain things, it won't move. But then if you just shake some things up, not that you're doing anything crazy, it's just maybe the order in which you're doing something.
Right. Muscle memory is a real thing.
And so, and to get it out of autopilot mode and to help start knocking some of that weight off as well for me. So with that, I'm thinking, okay, year 3 is a little bit of both. I want to continue to increase my ability to continue to work out, increase my joint health, because again, I'm also knocking on the door of 50. I thought it was 75.
Oh my goodness!
Well, I'm a good-looking 75-year-old, if that's
you are.
But I want to increase my joint health. I want to knock some more weight off, and so that way, at the end of year 3, I'm getting a lot closer to my goal. I told my doctor years ago, I said, I understand that going on this journey is not going to be an overnight thing. It took me years to get to this place. It took me years to put on 400 and something pounds. It's not going to take me a few days to get it off. And I'm not going to do it. I don't, like, surgery and all that stuff scared me, and I didn't want to do it that way. So I knew it was going to take me years to get it off. I told him, I said, my goal is by the age of 50, I want to be at this mark. And at this point, I think it was like 45, 46 when we had this conversation. And so again, I'm year 2 in. I'm 47 right now. So I still got a couple more years before, as far as a weight goal, so to speak, is that I'd like to be at. So between that and physical health, by the time I hit 50, there's certain things I want to be able to do again. There's certain like games I want to play, but I want my joints to be in a place that if I did decide to play pickleball, I'm not gonna just by barely running across the court be like, oh, something's injured. You know what I mean? So I have to work on building up that joint health again.
So I will say, before we do wrap it up, because I know you're about to probably wrap it up right now, do not look at anyone but where you're at right now.
Absolutely.
And do not look at the scale. Do not like if you were to look at anything, and I do mean anything, look at your body fat percentage. That one will tell you the full, like at least the most of the story of what you need to be doing, while also still just making sure that you're personally seeing changes. Me personally, I'm gonna be honest with you. Back in what was it? Back in like 2024, 2023, I noticed that I was struggling to tie my shoes. I didn't care to tie my shoes anymore because I
can't
couldn't
say
breathe.
much. That's one of the things that got me back into the weight
Yeah,
training.
yeah,
Same. I would bend over and I'm like, Man, it hurts to tie my shoes.
Yep.
This is.
I can't
got to the
breathe.
point- I got like one of those longer shoe horns just so I wouldn't have to bend over
Yep.
so much.
Oh, for
know?
me, it got so bad. You can ask them. I have shoes that I do not tie. Like I have never
Same.
tied them ever since this.
So I can't not tie my shoes because I have smaller feet. So if I don't,
Velcro, baby.
I will walk right out of my shoes.
gosh.
So I feel you, man.
And so, but actually, just as of I want to say like back in May, I was able to tie my shoes with no issues of breathing or anything
Awesome.
like that. I'm just like, all right, cool, bet. It's the small things that we take for granted that whenever you start doing them again with no issues, that's when you start realizing how much change you're actually
I
going
think
through.
this is
Buckling the
where we need to
airplane
take
belt.
it back.
Yeah.
We need to take it back to the spiritual side right now.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, because here's the reality, guys.
Yep.
If you are struggling with something spiritually, just like we've talked about the correlation between the physical and the spiritual, it's not always overnight. We would love to have a magic switch that we could flip and everything would
love
just
that.
change overnight. Some people have those type of miraculous moments where they get prayed for and they've dealt with alcohol or some other addiction and then God just breaks it. Others,
Have
they
to
go
process.
through a process. And this is the reality. The closer you draw to the Lord, the closer he'll draw to you. It's a natural action-reaction thing. And the more attention you place on spending time in the presence of God, spending time in his word, the more he'll recomp you in a way that builds you up in his faith and his spirit and in trusting him so that you will be the best version of yourself in his spirit and in his might. And it'll grow you in such a way that you won't recognize yourself a year to 2 years later,
Oh, yeah.
spiritually speaking.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, you have to put the same type of work into your spiritual life as it is physical. And I want to wrap it up on this. Sometimes at the gym, you don't want to. Sometimes you don't want to go.
That's absolutely true.
But here's the reality.
A lot of the times you don't want to go.
For the goal to be met, it can't be about the I want to. It has to be about this is what has to happen. It's almost like I was telling somebody yesterday at the gym. They were like, I have such a hard time with getting motivated. I said, well, do you have trouble motivating yourself to take your meds? And they said, no. I said, it's no different. I said, I'm not trying to be too hard, but this is the reality. If you start changing the way you think about this, the working out is like taking your medicine. It's a preventative medicine so that you're not going to have other issues later and taking other meds to keep you going. Well, and that same method of thinking, spending time in the Bible isn't about I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Spending time in prayer is not about I want to. But it's the same type of preventative medicine that'll prevent you from going through a hell on earth moment spiritual problems, because you neglected ministering to yourself, ministering to the Lord, drawing yourself close to the Lord to where he can whisper to you in the thick of the crowd when you need that encouraging word, right?
Absolutely.
And when we don't become diligent in chasing after the Lord, it's not God that gets far away from us. Is we begin to slowly get further away from him because we're not spending time with him.
Yep.
Any further thoughts before we completely wrap this up?
No, I think we pretty much beat that horse.
I'm just going to end it with this. Do not let your age tell you that you cannot do it.
There you go.
It is never too late to start, and it is never too early to start.
It's true, because even though I'm older than him, I'm actually stronger than him.
You know what? That's not only for your physical, but also spiritual.
That's true.
Absolutely.
When Vince and I were going to Christ for the Nations, there's this one dude, he was like 80 or 90 years old.
Oh,
And he was just as passionate, just as on fire as everyone else there. And I lost touch with him, but I have no doubt that the Lord used him mightily in his latter years, maybe even greater than he was used in his former years. Because here's the thing. When you're chasing after the Lord with all of your heart, it doesn't matter where you were.
Yep.
It's about where you're going.
Exactly.
I knew a guy that 10 years ago, I did third year. He was in his 70s, mid 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And every time he got up to speak, it was just like getting hit with a fire hydrant. They used to open it back in the day on the street for the kids to play in the water. That's what it was like every time he got up. And it wasn't because he was just giving you information. because he was so passionate, and he was so, like, you could see it. And the guy was on the go. Well, it's crazy. I've seen some people, especially the older generation. When you and I were there, I'd go home on breaks and I'd go do different jobs to make some extra cash. I worked with this one guy a couple times, and he did construction. I helped him put an addition on to his house. Like, I had a whole room to his house. He was running up and down the ladder to go up on the roof to nail down
Sound like my dad.
the stuff. 75 years old. He's running up with multiple things in his hands, not using his hands to go up this ladder, running up a ladder at 75 years old, running circles around me in my early 20s. And I thought I was in pretty decent health then. I mean, I could run pretty good. I could play pretty good. I was playing different games and stuff like that. I could do 14 hours in a warehouse, that like jobs I did and stuff like that. So like I had endurance, but this man put me to shame.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not ashamed to say that because it was impressive. It was very, very impressive. I'm going up. I'm gingering like one hand on the ladder, 1 foot at a time, holding something in the other arm on my shoulder, and gingerly going up the ladder. And he's like, like running down too. 75 years old. And just so
he had the confidence.
Oh yeah.
Oh, think about it. The confidence became because of him
With the
doing
experience.
it over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
When you have confidence in the Lord, it's because you have experience
Over and over
and
again.
trusting Him over time.
Yep.
Continuously, repetitively. It becomes almost like that muscle memory we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, if this has challenged you, if it's made you mad, share it with somebody. They need to hear it. You can reach us at uncomfortable@mooseministries.org, and you can also go to that website and support us there as well. Guys, till next time, talk to you then.
Stay uncomfortable.